If there's one thing I really can't stand, it's watching other people's holiday slideshows. That's that idiot Momus standing on the deck of a boat. I mean, I read his blog just because I hate him so much as I hate Crush. And the thing I would hate most would just be to have to sit through a slideshow, like an 8-minute long YouTube slideshow of his fucking holiday on Naoshima and the Seto Inland Sea. I mean, I do it just because I'm a masochist, really. It looks like the Clyde to me. I mean, I'm living here. I would take the ferry up the Clyde to the island of Cumbria or somewhere, but he's in Japan, fucking bastard, and he's there with two Japanese wee birds, pretty birds with him on either side. And first thing he does, he lands at the terminal building, which is designed by Sana, of course. He's taking pictures of himself in the fucking mirror. I mean, what a wanker. There he is, there's ice cream, there's some kind of cafe there, and his girlfriend and his wee friend Yoyo. She's called Yoyo because she keeps coming back, and they're standing in front of the mirror, and he's taking snapshots of himself in the mirror. It's typical. It's a cruiser going by, a motorbike shed, designed also by Sana probably. There's some fruit by a wacky old lady, what's she called, Yayoi Kusama. He's in there with Yoyo in a Yayoi sculpture installation, and there he's framing the island of Cumbria, but it's not, it's a Japanese island outside. They're sticking their heads through wee holes in the fruit, you know, they're like maggots coming out of an apple. There he is with some white bollards. He's a fucking bollard himself. He's a toss head. Going into a temple across the road. He's got to do this sort of synthetic religion thing. I think we need a bit more Matt McGinn on the soundtrack, really, just to put this in context. If I'd been born 10,000 years ago, if Momus had been born 10,000 years ago, he would be a Shinto Japanese man worshipping on his knees, you know, clapping and throwing coins, which wouldn't even have been invented 10,000 years ago, into some kind of fountain or whatever they do there for lucky charms. But there's some wee cute gnomes, and just it looks a bit like Pit and Weem to me. I mean, which is where I'm from. That's a weird house, which is it's a bathhouse, a public bathhouse. We phased those out in Scotland because everybody's got their own toilets and baths now indoors for at least the last 15 years or so. There he is sitting with Yoyo outside. It's actually Shinro Otake, I'm told, made this bathhouse. Some posters, some trinkets, some wooden houses, some more mirrors. I mean, he loves mirrors. It looks like a website address, Cinnamon. There's a rough-hewn chair. He loves his rough-hewn things because he's a post-materialist, you know, and they're selling tobacco. They're still allowed to sell tobacco there. Some old post office, just, you know, the things that you take pictures of. Some people going to do some pole vaulting, apparently. An advert for the band 999. Here's a fucking James Bond museum with Sean fucking Connery in it in the middle of Naoshima. I mean, that's surreal. There's a DB7 Aston Martin, and you can stick your head through and pretend to be Sean Connery. I mean, that's rich. That really is rich. Some sort of tin shed. I mean, it's actually a working island. It's an industrial island as well, and they're producing things, and yet more mirrors. He's showing his age there because he's copied that from Harry Worth. I used to watch that myself because I'm about the same age as Momus, but I don't reveal my age, but he does. There's his girlfriend with, it looks like she's got a wee beastie on her chest like a rabbit, and there's Momus. He just clowns around. He's a big kid. He's eating some horrible Japanese food in the Sana terminal again. He can't keep away from it. He loves the architecture, and it's empty and it's sunny, and he's been blessed with good weather, I'll say that for him, even if he's a bastard. I mean, I will repeat that. There's Yoyo, actually looking like a yo-yo on a string there, because she's apparently hovering in the air. It's the mirror, it's just the effect of the mirror. And even the car mirror, I mean, what a narcissist. He just can't stop taking pictures in mirrors. It's a cliche as well. I mean, I wouldn't mind a wooden house, to be honest. I would live quite happily on Naoshima in a wooden house and petting a cat with some plastic stools outside, and the colours are nice. This lady obviously just waits all day for tourists to ask her about her cat, and she feeds the cat milk just as a kind of exhibit, you know, maybe an art installation, because this is actually a part of the island. Some of the houses are made into art installations, but you never know what's an art installation and what's not. Is a crab, you know, biting your toe, is that an art installation, or is that just a crab? here's some oxygen. They keep oxygen or kerosene or some weird substance like that outside their houses, and Coke machine. They'll have Coke. Typical Japanese people drinking Coca-Cola, but it's disguised as green tea. Here's a poor unsuspecting lady with a bonnet, you know, and Momus invades her privacy by taking pictures of her. I mean, he knows no bounds, knows no limits. That's like a greenhouse. I mean, people living in greenhouses, it must be very cold. That's a James Turrell installation of, it's just a shed in total darkness, and that's the James Turrell toilets. He's actually designed the toilets as well. I mean, these artists are just fuckheads. There's some oranges on a tree now. I mean, why has nobody stolen those? I mean, I understand they wouldn't smash the Coke machines, but they could smash the apple, the orange trees and things, for sure. That's another artist's house, which is an installation by Shinro Otake, I'm told. Momus told me he's actually asked me to do this narrative for him because he can't be fucked himself. He's too lazy. There he is. He's wearing a sun visor. He looks like an old age pensioner in Florida. There's a clock. It's stuck eternally at 12:02. In Scotland, of course, at that time it would be about 2 in the morning. He looks like a Buddhist saint in that shadow picture. He's just so into himself. These are all installation houses, and but the patina, you know, there's a charming sort of. I mean, we have the same thing in Paisley. Actually, there's a lot of patina in Paisley. We should open that up as an artist installation. This is like the visitor centre. I think it was heated by this one heater. It was actually, you know, up until about 15 years ago, Scotland was very cold wherever you went, but Japan still is. You can see from these kerosene heaters. We don't have these anymore in Scotland, but they have them in Japan. That's some disgusting semen-like food which you ate in a cafe, traditional Japanese. They call them wa cafes, wa meaning harmony and meaning the Japanese people. The same word for the two concepts, because the Japanese people represent harmony to themselves. That's some red berries. Don't eat them, they're poisonous. A lot of cats around here just prostituting themselves to visitors and rolling on their backs and, you know, demanding piggybacks and things like that. That's some toilet paper. Now, only Momus would fucking take a picture of toilet paper in a toilet. I'm surprised he's not taken himself in the mirror there. Some kerosene. You could burn these houses down so easily with just a dousing of kerosene and a careless match. There's some digits. It's another artist installation. He's some rigid digit of an artist dropped some LEDs into a pond. I mean, that's what they call art these days. I mean, God knows. This is a temple, and it's Hiroshi Sugimoto. He's made a glass staircase down from a temple, and it actually goes underground, and you have to queue up. I mean, it's the herd mentality, the group mentality. The Japanese tourists, they love it. They queue up. If there's a queue for something, they'll be there, and they won't know. They won't even ask what it is. They'll just wait. This one, you went inside the mountain itself under the temple, and you would see you got Hiroshi Sugimoto's framing of the sea, and you were supposed to meditate, and then you would look at the glass staircase actually descending into it was a bit like being in a crypt or a necropolis, Momus tells me, and a bit spooky and damp and cold. This was a temple called the Garden, not a temple, a tea shop, but I mean they're the same thing, temples and tea shops. In Naoshima, everything's basically religious, including the bathhouse, and when you take off your clothes, you go into the changing room, and it's actually really beautiful in there, I hear. I mean, I'm looking at the pictures now, and I kind of wish that we had this on Cumbria. There's an elephant with a fanny. I mean, what the fuck? It's an elephant with a huge vagina that you can only see if you're in the men's half. It's Momus's penis. For God's sake, this is YouTube. You can't put your penis on YouTube. Thank God the resolution's low. You can just imagine it's an elephant's fanny. Some baskets for your clothes, and afterwards you're all rosy and healthy, and you drape your towels in the back of the car, and you eat some fruit, you know, and you take some Polaroids, and then the sun sets, and then you leave Naoshima, and that's the end of the video. But I hate him. Why did he go and I didn't go there? Bastard.